As the morning sun filtered through the window, I found myself standing in front of the mirror, a familiar bundle of nerves pooling in my stomach. Today, I was trying something new, something I'd always thought about but never really explored beyond the confines of my mind. My name is Alex, and until now, I'd never fully understood what it was to look in the mirror and feel complete. But I was ready to change that, and for the first time, I wasn't doing it alone. My wife, Emma, had been by my side for nearly 5 years now. She'd always been kind and supportive, the kind of person who made the world feel safe and manageable. We had shared everything together, yet I'd always kept this one part of myself hidden, carefully tucked away where I could pretend it didn't matter. Until recently. It had started as a casual conversation, a passing comment that revealed much more than I intended. "What's one thing you'd try if you knew no one would judge you?" She'd asked one lazy afternoon, and without thinking, I'd blurted out, "I'd try being her." She had looked at me with such curiosity, her head tilted, her brows raised. "Her?" she asked gently, her voice inviting me to explain further. "Yeah, like," I'd stammered, unsure of how to proceed, unsure if I'd gone too far. "I don't know, Emma, I think I'd like to explore my more feminine side. I think about it sometimes, you know? How it might feel to just be her, even if only for a little while." A moment of silence passed between us, one that I was certain would turn into discomfort. But Emma surprised me yet again. "Well then, why don't you?" she asked, her face breaking into a gentle smile. "If it's something you've thought about, I don't see why you shouldn't explore it. You deserve to feel like your whole self, Alex. I'd love to help." That was a few weeks ago, and since then, Emma had encouraged me to take small steps toward finding my girl self, as I'd started calling her. With her help, I'd experimented with a few things, clothes, accessories, even a little makeup. Each small change felt like removing a piece of an armor I'd worn for far too long. And while it had been nerve-wracking, it was exhilarating too. Today, though, was different. Today, we were going to the beach, and I wasn't going in swim trunks like I usually did. Today, I was going to embrace my girl self in a way I hadn't before. Emma had helped me pick out a simple, elegant one-piece swimsuit, a deep navy blue that was both understated and flattering. The moment I tried it on, I felt a strange, empowering kind of vulnerability. It was new, it was terrifying, and it was exactly what I needed. Emma watched me as I fidgeted with the straps, adjusting and readjusting them as I stared at myself in the mirror. "You look beautiful," she said softly, stepping up beside me. She was wearing her own swimsuit, a vibrant teal that suited her perfectly. I don't know," I replied, glancing down. "It feels strange. I've never done anything like this before." She reached for my hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "I know, love. But remember, you don't have to be anything other than yourself today. We're here to enjoy ourselves, and I'm so proud of you for being brave enough to try this." Her words were a balm to my nerves, and I felt a surge of gratitude. Emma had always seen me, all of me, in a way that made me feel safe. I took a deep breath, smiled at her reflection in the mirror, and nodded. "All right, let's do this." As we made our way to the beach, I felt a curious mix of anticipation and trepidation. The sunlight was warm on my skin, and the sand was soft beneath my feet. I was hyper-aware of every glance, every whispered conversation around us, feeling certain that everyone must notice the shift in me. But each time I started to feel overwhelmed, Emma's presence beside me anchored me, reminding me that I wasn't alone. We found a spot near the shore and laid down our towels. Emma spread out her beach blanket, laughing as the wind whipped it back and forth. Her laughter was infectious, and I couldn't help but smile. "See," she said, grinning. "We're just two girls at the beach, enjoying the sun and the waves. Nothing unusual here." Her words made me laugh, and that laugh was a release of sorts, a permission to let go and just be. I lay back on the towel, letting the sun warm my skin, feeling a kind of peace I hadn't anticipated. As the day wore on, I grew more comfortable in my own skin, more confident in who I was. Emma and I splashed in the waves, built sandcastles, and even shared a picnic lunch under the shade of an umbrella. She treated me exactly the same as she always had, her acceptance so effortless, so natural. It felt as if, in her eyes, I had always been this way, free, open, unburdened by expectations or labels. At one point, she pulled a small mirror from her bag and handed it to me. "Take a look," she said, her eyes sparkling. I hesitated, but I lifted the mirror and gazed at my reflection. There I was, in my navy swimsuit, my hair damp from the ocean, my skin glowing from the sun. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was looking at an incomplete version of myself. I felt whole. The feeling was almost overwhelming, and a small tear escaped down my cheek. Emma reached over, gently brushing it away. "You're beautiful, Alex," she whispered. "Just as you are." I couldn't find the words to respond, so I simply took her hand, squeezing it tightly. As the sun began to set, casting golden hues across the water, I felt a strange kind of sadness. The day had been perfect, a dream come true, but I knew that eventually I'd have to step back into the role I'd always played, the one that fit expectations, but not necessarily me. Emma must have sensed my thoughts because she wrapped an arm around my shoulders, pulling me close. "You know," she said, her voice soft, "this doesn't have to be a one-time thing. You don't have to hide this part of yourself when we leave." Her words settled over me, comforting and reassuring. I nodded, taking a deep breath. I knew she was right. This was only the beginning, a first step into a journey that would take time, patience, and a lot of courage. But with Emma by my side, I felt ready to face it. We stayed on the beach until the last light faded, the world bathed in twilight. As we gathered our things and walked back up the shore, I felt lighter than I ever had before, as if I'd shed a weight I'd carried for years. That night, as we lay in bed, Emma curled up beside me, her hand resting on my chest. "Thank you," I whispered, my voice barely a breath. "For what?" she asked, looking up at me. "For helping me find her," I replied. "For seeing me, even when I couldn't see myself." She smiled, her eyes filled with warmth. "You're welcome, Alex. But remember, she's always been there. I've just been waiting for you to meet her." With those words, I knew that I was ready for whatever lay ahead. Emma had given me the gift of self-discovery, and I was finally embracing all that I was, all that I could be. The days after our beach trip were transformative in ways I hadn't anticipated. For the first time, I felt a sense of freedom to explore this side of me, and Emma continued to be an unwavering support. Each day, she encouraged me to take small steps forward, to experiment in whatever way felt right, without pressure or judgment. And so, I started finding her not just at the beach, but in the small details of daily life. One evening, Emma surprised me with a box wrapped in a soft, floral-patterned paper. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she handed it to me. "Go on, open it," she urged. Curious, I carefully pulled back the wrapping and lifted the lid to reveal a few simple yet elegant pieces of clothing, a soft blouse, a pair of leggings, and a cozy cardigan. Tucked neatly beside them was a set of small, subtle earrings and a delicate chain bracelet. "I thought you might want something comfortable to wear at home," she explained, her voice soft. "No pressure, of course. Just whenever you feel ready." I was speechless, struck by the thoughtfulness of her gesture. She'd chosen each piece with care, knowing that I was still getting comfortable and might not want anything too flashy or overly feminine. I ran my fingers over the fabric, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. "Thank you," I managed to say, my voice catching. This means so much to me." She smiled, reaching over to squeeze my hand. "You deserve to feel comfortable and happy, Alex. Take your time with it, but know that I'm here, always." Later that night, after Emma had drifted off to sleep, I found myself in front of the mirror once again, dressed in the outfit she'd picked out for me. The soft blouse and leggings felt like an embrace, a subtle but meaningful shift from my usual clothes. And as I looked at my reflection, I felt a growing sense of pride, a warmth that spread through me like sunlight breaking through clouds. This was me, not a new version, not someone else, but a fuller, more complete version of who I'd always been. Over the next few weeks, I started to integrate these changes more openly. I wore my girl clothes around the house, slowly becoming more comfortable in them. Emma's enthusiasm was contagious. She'd smile at me every time she saw me, her pride evident in her eyes. And as her acceptance became more natural, so did my own. One evening, Emma proposed a new idea. "How would you feel about a little shopping trip together?" she asked as we were clearing up dinner. My heart raced at the thought. Going out dressed as my girl self felt like a massive step, one that was both thrilling and daunting. Are you sure?" I asked, trying to mask my nervousness. "I mean, what if people stare?" She gave me a reassuring smile. "Let them," she said gently. "We'll go somewhere quiet, a little boutique I know. No one there will give you a second thought, and even if they do, I'll be right beside you. It'll be just you and me." Her confidence was infectious, and after a moment's hesitation, I nodded. "All right, let's do it." The day of the trip, I took extra care in getting ready. Emma helped me style my hair, showing me how to use a few of her products to add a bit of volume. She even applied a touch of makeup, a light foundation, a hint of blush, and a soft, natural shade of lipstick. When she finished, she handed me the mirror with a smile. "There," she said, her eyes twinkling with pride. "Look at you." I gazed at my reflection, feeling both exposed and empowered. This was me, in a way I'd never dared to see myself before. I felt a rush of gratitude and joy, emotions mingling in a way that left me breathless. We drove to the boutique in quiet anticipation, Emma occasionally glancing over with a reassuring smile. When we arrived, the shop was nearly empty, just as she'd promised. The warm lighting and soft music created a calming atmosphere, and for the first time, I felt at ease shopping in the women's section. Emma and I wandered through the racks, selecting a few items here and there, a flowy skirt, a fitted blazer, a pair of jeans that felt both comfortable and flattering. She held up different options, offering advice and encouraging me to try things I wouldn't have considered on my own. As I tried on each piece, I felt a sense of liberation. I no longer felt like I was hiding or pretending. With each new outfit, I saw glimpses of a woman who felt confident, self-assured, and undeniably herself. At one point, Emma handed me a simple dress, a soft, lavender fabric with a cinched waist. "Try this one," she said, her voice soft. "I think it'll suit you." I hesitated, feeling a surge of nerves. Dresses had always seemed like an unattainable goal, something that felt out of reach. But Emma's encouragement gave me the courage to try. As I slipped into the dress and looked in the mirror, I was stunned by the reflection staring back at me. The dress hugged my body in a way that felt natural, accentuating my figure in a way that made me feel both beautiful and comfortable. I twirled slightly, feeling the fabric move around me, and a genuine smile spread across my face. When I stepped out of the fitting room, Emma's eyes lit up. "You look stunning," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "Absolutely beautiful." For the first time, I didn't feel the need to downplay or dismiss her compliment. I accepted it, embracing the moment, feeling the joy and pride that came with it. We left the boutique that day with a few new additions to my wardrobe, each piece a symbol of the journey I was on. And with each step, I felt more like myself, more comfortable in my skin than I ever had before. As weeks turned into months, these changes became a natural part of my life. Emma and I continued to explore together, finding new ways for me to express myself, both at home and in public. We went on more outings, each one a step toward embracing my true self. I even found myself sharing my journey with a few close friends, all of whom were supportive and accepting. One evening, as we were getting ready to go out for a small gathering with friends, Emma handed me a small box. "What's this?" I asked, curious. "Open it and see," she replied with a mischievous grin. Inside the box was a simple, elegant necklace, a delicate chain with a small pendant in the shape of a star. "I thought it might be a nice finishing touch," she said, helping me fasten it around my neck. "A little reminder that you're shining brighter every day." I touched the pendant, feeling a surge of emotion. "Thank you, Emma, for everything. I don't know how I would have done any of this without you." She pulled me into a hug, her embrace warm and comforting.
You don't have to thank me, Alex.
I love you, all of you, and I'm so proud of you. As we walked out the door that night, hand in hand, I felt a sense of peace and joy that I'd never known before. Emma had helped me uncover a part of myself that I'd kept hidden for so long, and now, with her by my side, I was finally living as the person I'd always known I could be. The journey was far from over, but I knew that, with Emma's love and support, I could face whatever lay ahead. And for the first time in my life, I felt truly whole. Thank you so much for watching till now. It means the world to have you here. This community is all about empowering each other and celebrating the incredible journeys of everyone on their path to living authentically. If you're ever feeling lost or alone, remember you have a whole family here for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and let's keep inspiring each other, sending you all the love and strength in the world. Until next time, live your life by your rules.